All right. So in this call, we're gonna do a few things. So we're gonna go over gold. We're gonna go over exactly the price action that gold delivered this week. We're also gonna go over the direction that we can expect for gold to happen today. Today is Friday, so it might be a little bit slow, or it might give us the move that we want. And then we're also gonna answer some Q&A questions, whatever question you guys have. So let's get started with the breakdown first. So this entire week, I've been looking for sales with gold, right? And this is all based on the price action that happened earlier of last week, right? So we all understand that gold has been pretty bearish, right? And if you guys look at the structure from the daily time frame, you guys can see how we're been pretty much breaking underneath previous lows and then creating new lows, right? So here looking at the daily time frame, earlier this year we had a nice push towards the upside, right? So this is just, basic movement that gold has been going on throughout the entire years, right? Now, we did get a retracement. This was all based on news here, right? So this was all when we did find out that, United States was going into war with the Iran, all of many, economic news and those fundamental news going on. So we started seeing that price had a huge dump back towards the downside, right? So this huge dump back towards the downside, we came back into this exact zones here, right? So this is all previous imbalance areas, right, on the daily time frame that price just never came back to retest. So this is exactly where we found the first leg. I wouldn't really count this low right here as an actual low because this is all based on from fundamental news, right? So this is all from like, the oil stuff, etc., that happened earlier on February. So I wouldn't really count this as a proper low. This is all fundamental. So the actual low that I will count at this point will be this exact lows right here. So at that point there, we did notice that price started reclaiming price back towards the upside. So we have this high, we have this higher low, and then we have this high. These highs here, notice how we came back and retested this exact order blocks from the left side. All right, so this is the exact zone that price came back to retest these order blocks from higher time frame structures. And technically, it created a lower high, right? You guys can see this from here. It created for the lower high, and from this point here, we started, shifting structure back towards the downside. So again, we created this low, another lower high, another low, minor lower highs, and then price started pretty much breaking back towards the downside. And we once again came back towards these lows. So this lows here wouldn't really count it. Again, we're just basically going off based on these lows right here. And this is all from last week price action, this entire melt towards the downside. So we broke this structure here, which was the last higher low legs. We broke underneath. What did we left here on the 4-hour time frame? We left two imbalance zones here that I'm still looking to target if we're able to reclaim price back towards the upside. So this is mostly, a long-term idea that I have here with gold because we noticed that obviously these entire imbalance areas are the zones that price likes to come back to retest, right? So you got to use these levels as magnets. So, we did have highs here. We also have another high here, which is pretty much reacting off from this exact imbalance right here. Now, we are seeing the structure right now that with this huge drop towards the downside, right? Let me just delete this thing here. Let me just delete. So with this huge push towards the downside, we're noticing that price came back towards these levels here, which is the 41, we can say 41.10. This was happening on Monday market open. So we broke underneath here on these last 4-hour lows, which was formed on Thursday. Friday of last week, we managed to break underneath. We go here onto the hourly time frame. We have this exact zone right here as well. We're gonna put this red. Are you guys catching up so far? All right, cool. So this the exact zone that we first retested this week, right? So this is the 4-hour imbalance as well, hourly imbalance as well. So we did notice that we broke underneath the structure here, which was the last lows that was formed from last week We got a pullback. We kind of retested this, right? But the idea that we want to look for is more of the body tested. So more of a, a manipulation towards the upside and then price, going back into structure. So this is exactly which we'll consider more of a higher quality setup. Here, we just basically did a tap. And same thing here. We kind of did a tap here as well, but we kind of did, come inside the zone here, which is going to be this last high. So if you go here on the hourly time frame, we notice that we retested. We retest the structure. Going on to the 4-hour time frame, we close underneath. See this? We close underneath this exact level, which is 45.73. So all of this entire push towards the upside, it was just coming back to retest the imbalance. So remember, these imbalances are like magnets. Price just comes towards this area to then push back down. Comes towards these areas to push back down. And then obviously vice versa. If it's bullish, it will be playing out something like this. So there's more imbalance towards the upside that hasn't gotten retested, and these all retested zone here are more of a higher time frame. Now, obviously, we don't choose when to push here, right? This is just all based on the market, right? So we don't choose that we want to push the market up back here. So let me just upset more people, guys. So looking here on the daily time frame, notice how we came back and the same thing happened. We rejected. So that's exactly the main reason why I was more interested in selling the market, just simply because we're going along the trend of last week. That was the downside. And we also have rejected this exact zone. Now, we're looking here on the hourly time frame, right? We notice that this here are also known as imbalance areas, right? So we have this one here, which is the hourly time frame. And we also have, let me just put this one in gray. And then we also have this one, which is right over here. So notice here, we got the rejection. Price broke on any structure. This was one of the first trade that I took this week, which was this sells. Played out for 200 or almost 300 pips at a one-on-one risk to reward. We got stopped at a break even, but this is the exact level that I had marked up, which is exactly the same zones that we noticed that price broke under, or pretty much we broke above it. We manipulated all these highs or pretty much sweep these highs and came back lows. And it kept, basically ranging from zone to zone. So we were noticing that price was respecting the main structure, respecting this exact level that I had marked up here, which was a previous imbalance, which is this exact 15 imbalance, right? On the 5-minute time frame, it will also show. And then we also manipulated the highs, which was simply a sweep. And then we were just trading from ranges to ranges, right? So we got stopped at a break even with this setup here. And then we noticed all I was looking for was for price to break underneath and then retest this level. And that's exactly what happened. We broke underneath, we retest, and then I got my entry confirmation. Now, this was considered more of an aggressive entry because we were coming back to retest this exact H1 or the hourly time frame imbalance here. So notice how the imbalance was kind of holding from this point here. It was holding exactly right here, which was multiple rejection, pushing towards the upside until we finally broke underneath. But then we fully tapped into it, and we once again, if you guys look at this port here, let me just close this. If you guys look at this exact wick here, this was a nice rejection. So this is where early buyers were stepping into the market, and whoever entered the buy position from this point here, they just easily got stopped out. And the reason why, because this is more of a impatient trades, right? If you would have entered buy position here based on what happened here, there was never really good confirmation at all. Just because we have the hourly that, hey, we swept these lows or we close above this exact imbalance, the 30-minute, the same exact story. If you guys go here on the 15 or 5-minute time frame, notice how we're still trading, or we actually broke underneath these exact support and going based on this one. So this is why higher time frame structure always going to matter more than what happens on the lower time frame structure. So whatever's going on the 4-hour, whatever's going on the hourly time frame matters way more than whatever's going on the 30 and the 15-minute time frame. So here we got, and then we noticed that price once again was ranging from zone to zone. I re-entered the sell where I took the first sell, which was more of an aggressive entry. We did end up hitting take profit too. I'm more of a person that goes break even at a 101, which is around take profit 3. So that's exactly why, I just let the trade do its thing, and then we got stopped out. But I noticed that this stop down here was just simply a wake down. Because again, we just came back and just to fully retest the exact body, we retested it once, we sold off. We retested it twice, we sold off until we actually swept out those highs here and then retest the structure. So the confirmation that I had on this trade here is based on here. Let me just accept more people, guys. Uh, where is the confirmation? Right here. So this is the exact confirmation that I took this trade that we did call a 1.5K pip trade here, which was I think almost a 104. Yeah, 104.3, and I'm still holding it to this point. So my confirmation that I had here was, rejection from the 45.90 key level plus an intraday bearish fair value gap, which was right over here, this exact huge zone. And then we had a break and retest under the 45.40 zone, which is this one right here. We have an hourly candle closure underneath. So we go here on the hourly time frame. This was the bearish candle that I'm talking about. We go on the 30-minute time frame. This is the exact bearish candle that I'm talking about as well. And then with also rejection of the VWAP, which is all of this here. And going into the hourly time frame as well, we also have rejection of the VWAP, which is all this here with this hourly bearish candle with the retest of this broken structure. So again, this was just all simply price ranging from levels to levels. So if you go here on the hourly time frame, right, this is just all price ranging, but respecting main structure. And then we failed to break higher. If price would have broken higher, then it would have been a different story. But we just kept holding underneath this broken structure and we kept holding underneath between all of this trend towards the downside. So I did end up taking that trade once again. I got my entry confirmation as well. If you guys go here on the 5-minute time frame, you guys can see that price had a break of structure from lower time frame, which was this right here, which also confirmed even more. Pullback, entry, and that's it. We took the trade. So any question on that setup yet? How do you identify these zones in real time? So, what do you mean by zone? Like these key levels here, like the gray box that I have marked up here? These levels, how I mark them out. In real time, I have to see a few things. So, for example, right now we're looking to take a trade. So I'm going to show you guys exactly the levels that I have marked up right now. So if we're looking, did I delete? Yeah, okay. Let me just delete this here. If we're looking here on the hourly time frame, right? How I trade gold is just noticing how it comes back towards the level where it had a reaction from the past. So in this case here, if we look at this level here, right, this is the first move that happened on Tuesday, which was a bullish push towards the upside. And then notice how throughout the weeks, right, throughout the last couple of days, price had a retracement back towards these areas. And we respected it, right? So these are the levels where, again, once again, buyers stepped in into the market. Now, notice here, this key here to here, this was a range in the previous market, right? So this was a previous range on the previous market, and notice how we attempted to break highs, we attempted to break lows. So this is all from the continuation of yesterday. Now, if you look here on the 30-minute time frame, same thing on the hourly time frame, we have this huge imbalance area, right? This imbalance area. So all you guys want to do is just make sure, just mark them red because this is a bearish imbalance. And notice how price came here. This was all fake buyers. So whoever entered buy position here yesterday, they got stopped out. So this was a huge, fake out towards the upside, which just simply came back to retest the imbalance, retest all of these highs here, which is all simply liquidity sweep, fake towards the upside, touch this exact magnet zone, retest the VWAP, retest the structure, and we notice that price rejected. I did not take a trade inside here because I'm not a trader that is going to be taking trades inside the ranges because this is just a tight range. I'd rather wait for price to give us a breakout. Once we have a breakout of the range, then it will make way more sense for us to be taking a trade. Inside the ranges, we can get trapped. So that's why it's very important to wait for those breakouts to happen. So in today's market, I did identify this exact zones. These are the key levels. Because notice how it was ranging at previous. We broke underneath and now price is back into the same exact zone. So we're back inside the same zone and we're noticing the same exact movements. We have what? Rejection towards the upside. So we had a nice push, rejection towards the upside, sweeping out these highs, respecting, all of this entire imbalance area, and then price sold off. But now price is bouncing back towards the upside. And what price is really bouncing up from is this exact, imbalance area. So we have this 30-minute here. We also have this 15-minute here. Price just came here, retested it, and now we're having a bullish reaction from it. But I'm not going to be taking a trade inside this range here. This for me is going to be too, it's very complicated to look for entries in here because it will be more aggressively and more tight. So I'd rather, again, once again, wait for the breakout. I was looking for sells. There was a continuation of sell that I was looking for, which was underneath here, which we did get this break. But once again, remember, we're retesting the structure here, these imbalance areas where price, was able to, find that exact zone where buyers are stepping in. So that's exactly why I did not enter the trade because we did not close. If we would have actually broken and closed underneath these lows here, 44.10, then maybe it would have been a risky sell, but I would have definitely taken that sell. And my stops would have been above here. But only if we would have gotten this exact, candle closure underneath here. On the hourly, we retested. The VWAP was trading above it, 30-minute, the same story, but notice how it failed. Now we're back inside this range. And yesterday, this was also last night during the London session. I was looking to enter the sell. Well, I was looking for buys because we broke above, but I knew that, like pretty much it was a fake out, right? Because there was very weak candle towards the upside. For example, this 15-minute time from here, we have an imbalance area, which price was holding above it. So we had very weak closure towards the upside. If I would look for a buy, then it would have been above here. It would probably be like a buy stop, but we never broke above it. So that was an L trade. If you look here on the 30-minute, we rejected it here, we rejected it here, we rejected here, which is also rejecting this exact resistance. So there was never a good opportunity for us to even attempt the buys. Only if we would actually close above these 30 minutes highs here. So that will be actually for today. If we are seeing that price continues pushing higher, then my best bet will be for price to actually close above here, which will be the 44.65. So if we do manage to close above the 44.65, then I will be looking for buys. I will be the only way that I will look for buys. Inside this ranges here, I won't be on, not trading at all. Okay, so how do you go mark these zones? These zones are marked up from the 4 hours and the hourly time frame. So it has to happen every session. So if I can give you an idea, let's say I mark up, this is exactly how I mark it up. So we go here on the daily time frame, and I'm gonna be marking up on the daily highs and the daily lows. Daily highs and daily lows, right? These are the first two things that I mark up as soon as I start an analysis. So we're gonna go here, mark up the daily highs, daily lows, because these are areas where price has rejected throughout that session, throughout that daily session. So since today is a New York session, if you were to mark it up, you want to mark up from these highs here. You want to mark up these lows here, which are zone that price rejected. Now we're trading inside these exact levels here. So you want to look for break of structure from 4 hours and the hourly time frame, and that's exactly how you will identify. So for example, we have resistance here and we have support here. And then we also have these lows here, and we also have these highs right above here. So we would just be waiting for breakouts for it can actually confirm. Yes, I mark it up each session. So if I start, let's say that we start, let's say that today was Monday. We finished Monday. We're going into Tuesday, New York session. You want to mark up Monday's highs and Monday's lows and just, trade inside those ranges. Because inside those ranges is exactly where they would break a structure from the intraday zones. And those are exactly the levels that you may see price retest. So if we let's go into another level. Let's go into, what is this? US 30. So I can give you guys an idea exactly how I mark up. Just to have more people here. So what I'm always gonna do is pretty much like this. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I do it. Go here in the daily time frame. You want to mark up the daily highs. And you also want to mark up the daily lows, right? I keep them sometime black or orange. Let's just put them orange here. And then you pretty much want to identify, like, right, pretty much understand what is going on towards these levels, correct? Because we notice here, if you go here on the 4 hour time frame or on the daily time frame, you can see that we attempted or we pretty much came back towards these highs here a few times throughout this past couple of days. So we have these highs here, we have these highs here, these highs here, these highs here, which are failing to break above it. But price has now fully rejected here, right? This is just simple identify. We fully rejected and we have close underneath. So we're just gonna mark up like this, right? So if you guys go into the 4 hour time frame, we are noticing that we are retesting and rejecting off this previous structure here, which was all previous area of support. And then we attempted to break here, we failed, we pushed underneath, we attempted to break here, we failed, we pushed underneath. And now price is coming back to break underneath now these daily lows here, which is another zone that price held throughout the last couple of days as well. So now you're gonna go here, and what you want to do today as well, you want to mark up today's highs, which is gonna be this one. So in this one, we're just gonna put black to understand that is today's session. You guys want to go into the 4 hour and not understand where it's price rejected off. And if you guys look here on the intraday zone, you can see that we are rejecting basically off structure of 4 hours, which is all of these highs here, all these previous 4 hour highs. So between here, you guys can notice that there is ranges and there's a lot of manipulation towards the up and a lot of manipulation towards the down. There's ranges and then we have manipulation towards downs, push back towards the ups. So usually if you go here on the hourly time frame as a normal trader, right? If you guys would have seen this breakout here, then you'll be like, oh, okay, we broke underneath, we broke above these highs here. We broke above these highs here. What are the chances that we can come back and retest it? Right? Those are just probabilities. So these are the levels that you want to wait for price to, give you guys pullbacks. And if it respects it, then you guys can look for buys. But notice how it failed, right? Because again, if we're looking here at US 30, we're noticing that we're just trending towards the downside. So once again, like I was explaining to you guys earlier, everything that happens from daily 4 hour matters more than whatever's going on the intraday zones, right? Or underneath even lower time frame. You can probably catch good scalps, but obviously you want to be trading with the trend and not against the trend. So we already marked up exactly the levels that we have here. This is just all marking up from, daily highs and daily lows. So this is today's highs, which is right here. So notice that we're rejecting off this entire highs. So right now we broke underneath this exact structure. We broke underneath this exact lows, which was from yesterday. So it shows us that we broke underneath these lows and we're now printing new lows. And if you guys look towards the left side, right, we have all structure here that it's just pretty much clean traffic. So we can just mark up the last lows, which was right here, that was built on Monday. And then we can also mark up a little bit. Let's see, we're just gonna mark up lows here because this is exactly where price is trending from. So we can mark up these hourly lows as well. So this one here, you do not want to take a trade because once again, we're coming towards the levels that there was ranges. So here, what you guys want to keep an eyes on will be simply you're pretty much approaching idea here. Will be like, all right, if price manages to break underneath here, because right now here on the 15, we are respecting these exact levels here. Same thing on the 30, we are respecting this exact zone. If price action managed to break underneath here and build up bearish price action and breaks underneath the last lows, then we can sell. But as well, if you guys look left, we're pretty much coming towards an areas where there was previous buyers into, right? Because notice how buyers pretty much defended these levels. So defended it, and then we had a push up. Here, same thing. We defended it, and we had a push back up until we broke underneath. So at this point here, this can also be a zone that price can either manipulate the lows and then start building bullish price action back towards the upside. So that's why it's important you have to wait first with US 30. I would say wait after the New York session to open, right? Which is at 9:30. Once we have the volatility kicking in, and then at 9:45 to 10 o'clock is when the real move will actually happen. But if you're looking to sell the market, it has to break underneath the 9:30 lows to continue it. So as of right now, we're just respecting, all structure, which is fine, but the market hasn't really opened, so it's very risky for you guys to even attempt to look for sell or buys. But that's exactly how I marked up. So notice how I marked up, and it's just cleanly respecting structure, all based on daily highs and daily lows. Here on gold now, we're coming back here, and we're just trading the middle. So we're not really, there's nothing going on now. It's just price stuck. So I'm not going to be interested in taking any trade until we get what we want. Any question on that one? Daily highs are marked. How do you connect them? What improvement? Yeah, technically it does. Everything looks short, but like you said, the market is being manipulated right now. That's why you gotta just sit down and just wait. So the idea for stop loss, it will be more of an invalidation zone. So the way that I do my stop loss, right? So notice how my stop loss was right here, and my stop loss was right here. These are called invalidation zones. So a good way to answer that question will be based on this one. So notice how I took a sell here. My stop loss was placed above this exact level because if you look towards the left side, this was areas where buyers were previously in, right? Pretty much defending at one point. So it was just a range. If I have my stop loss, let's say I had my stop loss right above here, above the range, and we end up respecting the structure that happened right here, right? We end up respecting the structure. This is just basically hoping that the market is going to your direction, right? You're not basically trading a structure system here. You're just hoping that, okay, we're seeing this downtrend. I'm gonna take a sell here, but we are respecting this zone. So there's a probability that price can start breaking above, enter the range, and then you get stopped out. So the right way to be entering the stop loss zone will be exactly an invalidation level. Gold has changed this year. Last year, it will be the same exact movement, but the pip range from gold has changed completely. From last year, you can put your stop loss exactly right here, and it will be just maybe 80 to 150 pips. Nowadays, these ranges here are going from 200 max pips. So again, pips doesn't really matter with the stop loss. It's just all by percentage, right? So if I have a 280 pip stop loss here, and I'm risking 1%, let's say that you guys have a $100,000, or let's say a $10,000 account, you're risking $100 per trade, right? You put here, you have a 280 pip stop loss, you're only gonna lose 100 bucks, right? So the stop loss pips will not matter. Same thing here, 360 pips. You go to the calculator, you write that down. It's gonna give you guys a lot size. Every lot size is gonna be different though, but you're always going to be losing the same exact amount of money. So, example, we got stopped out here, we got wicked out, which was simply a, wick out. So here you do not want to re-enter the market. Something happens like this, you do not want to re-enter the market because we're going based on this push up here. So if you're going to re-enter the market here, then that's once again hope, right? It's not an actual structure. You're gonna have to wait for the confirmation. The confirmation is always gonna save you guys. So notice how I re-entered the market down over here and not got, quotation mark the best entry. So my stop loss would place above here because I would have noticed that if price would have broken above here, then I was wrong with the idea. And then this will count as an actual loss. So that's exactly how I placed my stop loss. Let's see what price is doing. So looking here, um, so like I'm saying, I do want to sell gold, but I do not want to sell just yet. I just don't like how we're stuck in this range here. But going here in the hourly, right? These are things that you need to guys to focus on. So for example, we have this exact level here, which matches with the 15. This is all London volume towards the downside. Again, these are imbalance where price like to use them as magnets, also known as fair value gaps. And notice how we are manipulating these highs from here. So we may see sell. Me personally, I'm gonna look for sell underneath here, not here. I still need my confirmations. So we're manipulating this exact structure, which is really good, really a good sign. I just want price to be underneath the structure. I want price to break underneath the last lows, and then I will be taking sells. My confirmation in this trade. So first thing first, going here on the hourly time frame, right? We are respecting this entire imbalances, right? So everything that happened here. So we're gonna put this red. So this will be the first, okay, this is the first confluence. We have rejection towards this exact red box. We have rejected it once. We're noticing the sell-off. Price came back. We rejected those highs. Once again, we're seeing the sell-off. So that's already confirmation. And then we also have, we're just basically going with a trend that is going on from the intraday zone, which is going down, and the trend that is going underneath the higher time frame zones, which is also going down as well. We're trading underneath these 4-hour highs here. So if we would have broken above here, then that would be a different story. But right now we're trading underneath it here. We look on the 4-hour time frame. We have 4-hour closure towards the downside. So there's no buyer's volume inside here on the 4-hour. Here on the 30-minute time frame, we just got a pullback. So price is now pulling back towards this exact imbalance what happened during the London session. We retested once here. Price broke underneath. Now this New York session, we're having the back, and we're just pretty much sweeping these highs here and fully retesting the magnet. So now we want not to trade this point here with the structure. So now we're just waiting for bearish price action because there's no bearish price action yet. Notice how here in the 5 minutes, we're just highs, lows, and then we have a high. And then we also have these break of structure right here. All of these highs that was previously broken. So now what we want to see is bearish price action. That's the last thing that we're missing for. We already got everything we want to see, right? Because this is perfectly rejecting. We're perfectly sweeping these highs here. So all we just want to see is bearish price action to develop, which is, go in here in the 15 or in 30 minutes, right? Notice what was the last lows, which was this one. So we want to have a high, lows, lower highs. We have a low, and then price broke back above. We're respecting these lows, but we want price to break underneath it, and then that will confirm us to sell. And then exactly once we close underneath here, this is where I will be taking my sells, and my stop loss will be placed inside this range. And then my take profit, I'm gonna write it out all the way back down here. So this will probably give me like a 1 to 3 if we get exactly what we want. But remember, we have to close underneath. I would say mostly the 15, 30-minute time frame, we have to close underneath these lows here. Yes, I always use on though. And then US 30. This is nice. So you see now US 30 have broken underneath here on the 5 minutes. So we're having a nice push towards the downside. Let's see what happens today. I take profits mostly. So I take profit too. I secure partial. So I probably will secure 20, 30% of the profits in there. But where I will usually secure more profits will be at a 1 and 2. 1 and 2 will be the zone where I will take mostly all of my profits. I just go based on risk to reward, not by pips ranges. I've been trading futures as well. This week I won every single trade. I've just been scalping quickly. So I might scalp while I'm in a bit. I'm gonna have to look at Bitcoin this week and maybe I'll take a trade if I see anything worth. Holy shit, this is just pushing down. And today is Friday, guys, so we're gonna have to be chill and we're just gonna wait for things to happen. I'm not gonna try to force something. All right, so we're done here with the call. I'm gonna answer more few questions. You guys have any questions you guys want me to answer? So buys for today's team gold. Yes, as long as we break here. 44.10 underneath 44.10, then I will look for my sell. But buys, I'm more interested in selling. But remember, we're stuck in this range. So this is ugly price action until we finally have the break underneath those lows. Also, do you have also something like mentorship education stuff? Do you mean mentorship like do I do mentorship myself or stuff that I had in the past? Yes, so we do have a course inside. I'm actually finishing a course for the let me just show you guys because I have just give me 1 second. me look for. We do have a course for the VIP. Right now, I'm currently working on the exactly the way that I trade is exactly what I'm working on right now. So let me just hide some stuff. So we do have an entire course here. We have smart money concept course and a beginner course is what we have. This is all based on the VIP. Let me just log in because I don't know why it's not letting me. I'll show it to you guys in base. 1 second. Are you guys able to see my screen? I don't know. So the screen is off. All right, so this is the exact course. So this is the course from last year, which is, basic knowledge stuff. This is just, understanding stuff. And then as of right now, what I'm working on, which I'm releasing one video every other day, we're now doing the smart money concept. So smart money is basically what I trade the most. So it will be like this. We have what is SMC, and then we went over some liquidity.
All right, so video
So
number two.
it will be, based on understanding so many things. Yes, so all VIP member have access to this. And then we also have where is it? Well, we have a free day trading course, a day trading one. And then I also have the education vault, which is going over exactly how I trade, like the 5-step system. I'm also going to be dropping free video for the SMC. So as of in the VIP, we already dropped two. I have another one coming up this weekend, which is now going into understanding fair value gaps, imbalance, how to mark those levels. All those things are now coming out for this video. So we're gonna have four different phases for the smart money concept one. So yeah, you join the VIP and you guys will have the access to this. So you see, this is why it's important to wait. Because imagine we would have taken that sell. Look how price is just pushing up. Yes, that's also me. No, we're just all it's all my channel. So we have all three channels in one. There's no difference. Pipsmaster, I just do more with indices. In Wolves Trading, we just focus on gold, but same exact VIP. All right, so I'll be sending you guys the update. And as well, if you guys are in the VIP, these are the things that you guys will get. And then you also guys get the trade recap. So every single breakdown of every single trade. So for example, we go to March. This is all the trade from March. So everything based on the trade that we took. So I actually broke down these type of trades so you guys can see it here. And then we also have the updates explaining before the type of setup. So these are just daily uploads. So today I'm gonna do one and just upload it here as well. So you have every single trade, losing trades and winning trade. Yes, I will give you access. Let me just also gold the third. All right, cool. So I'll give you access right after the call. I have to go through the other part and I'll give it to you. All right, so we're done with the call. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna do another one next week. For the VIP, all of this is gonna be uploaded. So I'm also gonna be uploading this exact Zoom call if you guys want to go back and watch it. I got you. I will. All right. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The indicator you guys want to see. Okay, so the only one that I use is the VWAP. I don't use this one, but this was something that you guys can use if you guys are new into fair value gaps. I do recommend it, but don't want to be stuck in it. This is the VWAP, the settings that I use. This is the only indicator that I use the most. Gotcha. All right, cool. So I'm gonna upload this video in any minute. Let me just stop the recording.